Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Everyone just loves New Mexico to upset number 6, have the potential to go at least one more round. Deron Holmes, Shahade Wells, and Enrique Freeman, 3 players you have to know about. The most popular question I've received since the last show has been, how do I get into the Discord? Because as you have noticed, we go through as many games as possible. Then the last few picks and the parlay end up going to the Discord. Well, I'm going to start the show today by showing you how to do that. Please take a look at the following. And thank you for joining us as always here. You know the deal. Mike Randle, FTN, College Basketball Betting Show. We cover all the games as much as we can. Now, here you go. You go to ftnfantasy.com. Right there, folks. That's what you do. You go up here to pricing, and you pick any one of our packages. You can go monthly. You can go annual. We have all sports. We have bets, whatever you want. You can pay whatever you want and use that promo code on the bottom of the screen there, early 15, get you 15% off. And then after you do that, you go into Discord. And you'll go into Discord. You create a Discord account. And that's where you get all of the information. That's where you get all the good stuff. So I'm going to start by showing you that. As always, we will go through the picks. When we get to the end of the picks, those are for the subscribers, not the subscribers to the channel. I do appreciate you, and I love having you here. But again, we have gathered momentum. We're getting to March. We put time in. Frank Brank's models, everything we have. Ryan Coleman, Gus Kearns, Walt Waddell. The great Walt Waddell never sleeps. The show goes on, and we put all of his information here for you. And then we are prepped and ready at our best when we need to be during March Madness, college basketball futures, everything you want. The Discord. Last night, hopped in the Discord late. I like Stanford minus 10.5 over Miami. Got to the window. And I like Raynaud over 23.5 points. Got to the window. That's the purpose of the Discord. And for those that like Xavier's today, I put it in the night before, got it 8.5. That was a big point because if you got it 7.5, unfortunately, didn't work, even though it was the right cap. Anyway, here we go. Going to go through the games here. I got them all. I got 23 games. We're going to stop at the last 6, of course, and the parlay. So you want to get into the Discord. Make sure you get those as well. But first, for the people, who do we got here? Wags. Nice to see you, buddy. I like the little sun emoji there. Very good. Yeah, last show was good. Only miss was produced. So frustrated with that one. The 3-point variance melt is the problem because I can't control when a team is scalding hot from 3. For example, Colgate earlier this week against Bucknell. Bucknell is a 30% 3-point shooting team, 8 of 12 from 3-point range to start the game. That's a variance we can't control. Trevor, you are the man. There's John L. Brutal loss last night for Georgia plus 1.5. John L. sticking it to us there in Arkansas. Ben, great to see you as always. Trevor, yes, Miami, horrific. Wisconsin, Green Bay, also bad. Imagine that. You hire someone who's a podcaster and it doesn't go well as your head coach. Wags he doesn't sleep. And Bobby, always a good show when you have Bobby in the house. Here we go, guys. Let's go through the games. Start with the one that I'm picking, but I am least confident about. And remember, these are games, when I go through them, I do the projections. And what I say is, look at the other side. And can the other side happen? And those that I say I'm not sure, I like the pick, but I'm not sure, those go at the bottom. The ones that I say I do not see the opposite happening, those go at the top. Here we go. Middle Tennessee State at home versus Middle Tennessee State on the road. Now, they're going to Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State is 1-5 in Conference USA, so they have certainly struggled, and they have lost 5 of the last 6. So you're going to say, why on earth are you taking this pick? Well, I'll change it around. Why on earth is Sam Houston State only a 1.5-point underdog? How about that? They've had rough games away at Kennesaw State. They lost in overtime. Away at Jacksonville State, they lost that one tough as well. But Middle Tennessee State, who has won 3 games, and they are 4-1, this is a very shaky spot because they have Louisiana Tech away, who was the preseason favorite in Conference USA. So it's a bit of a look ahead in 2 days. Classic sleepy spot. 3 straight wins, 3 straight home games. Now on the road, Sam Houston, who stinks. Louisiana Tech look ahead. Kind of like this one. Sam Houston plus 1.5. Don't go crazy half unit play. It's fine. 22, Albany over Maryland, Baltimore County. Albany is pretty good at home. They're 10-10 overall. They're 2-3. But I don't like UMBC. That's the issue. UMBC wants to play at a frenetic pace, and if they hit their threes, they're going to win. They went away to American, and they ended up winning in 2 overtimes because they were able to force turnovers and do some things in that game. They've lost to Maine at home. They gave up 87 points to Maine. That's horrific. They went to they had New Hampshire at home and lost that game as well, gave up a ton of threes. I think Albany gets them here. I don't like UMBC. They had a nice little run with the American, the NJIT win away by 23. They're not consistent enough. They have Vermont after this game away. Albany is coming off a win over Binghamton. They actually played Bryant tough at home. They went away at New Hampshire. They beat Stony Brook at home by 7. I think they beat UMBC by 3. This is play number 22. Joey Wright, if you're in the house, I apologize. It's a rebuilding year for Stetson. They've had their moments, have gone up and down, but they are 5-14. They're coming off a win over West Georgia at home. That's great. Now they're going away. Their away games, Queens gave up 96 points. Florida lost by 40. LSU lost by 40. South Florida lost by 2. They're terrible on defense. They're terrible at defending the 3. They are actually the second worst team per Ken Palm adjusted defensive efficiency in the country. And you know my thoughts on Eastern Kentucky. I like them. They turn you over like crazy. They're also very good taking care of the ball. They make their free throws the number 1 in the ASUN and making their free throws their top 40 in the country. I like them here. They have Florida Gulf Coast home right after that. I get it. I just don't think Stetson is very good. I think Eastern Kentucky finds a way at home to cover this big number against Stetson. Pacific isn't really good. This is a Stan Johnson fade. Everybody who watches the show knows that. It's just Pacific is not good. They're really bad. And so in this spot, I'm not crazy about backing Pacific. I get it. I'm getting 7.5 points on the road. They lost to Oregon State at home by 36. They lost to Pepperdine by 17. They were gamey against San Francisco. I get it. I can't put this one any higher than number 20. You know, I don't like Stan Johnson, Loyola Marymount. I like to shoot threes, live by the 3, die by the 3. They don't have a look ahead. They have Portland coming up. I'm gonna fade Stan Johnson whenever it's reasonable to do so. Though we did win with them this year earlier, but it's Pacific and they're terrible. That's why it's not higher. I don't like laying 5.5 on the road. It's like the most interesting man in the world. I don't like laying 5.5 on the road, but when I do, I am going to do it here against Louisiana. Louisiana fired their coach Bob Marlin mid-season, so they've been very inconsistent. They are not good in the Sun Belt. They are terrible, the worst team on defense inside the arc. They're also terrible on the boards. They shoot less than 30% from three-point range, so they are home. But Texas State is a very physical, good team under Terrence Johnson. They're great at shooting threes, which is going to be a problem going for Louisiana at home. They're shooting 38%. They don't turn the ball over. They're also coming off a couple wins here. They have some mojo. They beat Georgia State. They beat Southern Miss at home. They beat Troy away, which was really impressive. Scott Cross did not cover, I believe, in that game. So Texas State, good physical team, good defensive team. I think they get Louisiana. I don't like Louisiana. The only thing is Texas State is at Arkansas State on Saturday. So this could be a little bit of a look-ahead spot. Only a half unit here. We're not going crazy. I like Texas State. I don't like laying 5.5. For those who don't know, when you have a home team in a conference game getting 5.5, it really perks my interest because historically that has done very well for me. That's a big game for San Francisco. St. Mary's has not been at the usual level they are normally. This is a very big game for San Francisco. They play well against St. Mary's. St. Mary's is on a roll. They're 6-0. They have won 6 straight games. They won 7 of the last 8. They've won 9 of their last 11. They're playing very well. I just don't know if I'm ready to lay that amount of points against San Francisco. They're not great from the free throw line, St. Mary's. They're not great inside the arc. They rely on the 3 a lot. And San Francisco, Chris Gerlison, very good coach, good at defending the 3. Rivalry game here. They're fired up. They're 6-2. So if you look at the WCC here, you have Gonzaga, who is 5-2. So St. Mary's is 6-0. San Francisco can tie for the lead at the WCCC. Gonzaga 5-2. That's crazy. They're tied with Santa Clara and Washington State. So St. Mary's is clearly ahead of everyone else. It's just San Francisco's in second place. Good coach in Chris Gerlofson. A lot of points. St. Mary's doesn't play really quickly. This one moving up to 18 could go higher. I will take San Francisco plus 10.5. Georgia Southern, Coastal Carolina. Coastal's burned us a couple times. I don't like Coastal Carolina on the road, and they have not even been covering as much at home as they normally do. They have lost 4 straight games. App State away, Georgia State, Georgia Southern. They lost at home in overtime, and then Marshall. So this is a flip-flop game here. You can argue that, in these games where they've played once before, sometimes they bounce back and have a good game. That's why I didn't put it higher, but you have seen exceptions to that rule. Appalachian State beat James Madison twice. So you've seen exceptions to that rule. I don't think Coastal Carolina is good at all. Georgia Southern, in the other way, has won 2 straight games. They beat Coastal away in overtime. Then they beat Old Dominion away. Now they're coming home. I think they play well here. They're 3-4. They're playing good ball. It's 6.5, which is a little too high. I wish it was 4.5, something like that. So that's why it's not any higher. Marist really good. I've been on Marist all year. John Dunn's team, very good at playing defense, physical, top 13 in the country at defending inside the arc. Really good in defense in the MAC, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. They are number 1. They are coming off a loss to Rider at home, which was a brutal loss. They were 6-0, leading the MAC before that game. Now Quinnipiac is 7-1. They can't afford to lose pace. They need to keep pace with Quinnipiac. It's Niagara. It's away. I think they bounce back huge here. They win by 3. Niagara, not really impressive. Lost 3 straight games under Greg Paulus. Greg Paulus starting to really sort of backpedal a little bit. Has not been as successful there as we would have thought. This is his 6th year there. They have gone 12-20, 9-11, 14-16, 16-15, 16-16, now 7-11. They're just kind of hovering around 500. I think Marist gets this win and covers here. I will take Marist -3. Before we get to the top 15 picks, let's get to the comments who are rolling here. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, 100 miles of hate. Good call, Trevor. Yeah, on the road. And it's a sleepy spot, and it's only 1.5. Makes no sense, right? Let's see. Totally disgraceful, the Dons. They haven't played well. They can struggle sometimes to be consistent. But they did get the win over Loyola Marymount. They got the cover for us there. And this is a big game for them. They get up for this game, and I don't think St. Mary's is at the normal level that they normally are. Took an over on Marist Niagara. 2 lots, fine, Wags. No problem with that at all. Let's get back to the picks. Not much here. Wichita State stinks. I don't think they're very good. There's no sleepy spot for Memphis here. Wichita State is disappointed all year long. They're one of the teams that I've gone against, and I'm like, wow, they should have played better. Wow, they should have played better. Maybe they're just not that good. 4-1 in the AAC, Memphis. Half game behind UAB in North Texas. They're going to want to win the conference there, of course. Penny wants to get into the tournament. Still hasn't gotten over 2 years ago when they lost to Florida Atlantic, because that could have been them that made that run to the Final Four. They have UAB at home coming up. I get that, but they should be fine there. Wichita State has lost 4 of their last 5. Wichita State, terrible. They don't force turnovers. They're terrible at defending threes, which is really awful against Memphis, especially on the road. They're good on defensive rebounding. That's how they're going to keep it close. Paul Mills, rebuilding there in Wichita State in his second year, but I don't see this one. I am going with Memphis in this matchup. Scott Cross covers. We had a little run there where Scott Cross did not cover, but he's bounced back nicely. We didn't get on him in the last game, and they did actually cover in that one. They played South Alabama. Let's see. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, I think this is today. I got this one. It's Troy Mice. Yeah, Southern Miss. I don't know if this game is. Let's see. Yeah, we'll skip this one. We'll come back to this one. For some reason, something's weird here. Moving on. Northeastern and Drexel. I am taking Northeastern. Northeastern is tough at home. Drexel has not been great. They've been okay. They've been a little bit up and down. Northeastern can shoot those threes, and they can go in and out of games, and they can struggle. But I do think that they get this game at home. Northeastern has lost 4 of their last 5, but 3 of those games have been away. At Townsend, where they actually covered, lost by 7. At UNC Wilmington, really tough. And at Charleston by 2. So they're playing much better. Now they're playing Drexel. They come home. Drexel beat Hofstra at home, but then they lost to Elon and Townsend as well. I think they're a little bit of a paper tiger. They're 3-3. There's no reason that Drexel is going to cover this game. They have Delaware at home coming up. Drexel also terrible from the free throw line, shooting 58% from the free throw line. Do not like taking teams on the road that can't make free throws. We will go with Northeastern -2 versus Drexel. I've been impressed with Maine. Chris Markwood's done a real nice job. And I think UMass Lowell is a little bit overrated. UMass Lowell had that big win last year over Vermont where they rolled. But look at what Maine's done here. Maine is the sleeping giant in the America East. Vermont is down. Bryan is 4-0. Maine is 4-1. They're a half game ahead of Vermont, and they've won 4 straight games. Binghamton, Albany at home, then NJIT, UMBC away. I know those are not big games, but this one they'll be up for here. I think they play well in this spot. They're great at forcing turnovers. Their defense is legit. They're also shooting 43% from three-point range, which is exactly how you can attack UMass Lowell. UMass Lowell, terrible on the boards, don't force turnovers. They don't shoot well either. So their offense is not one that can run away and hide. I think Maine rather keeps this game close. I will take them there. I can't believe I'm taking Canisius, who is maybe the worst team in college basketball. But I have to tell you, Sacred Heart is not too far behind. Canisius actually had their first win away at Fairfield. They have a little mojo going right now. They played Sacred Heart away and lost by 16, and now it's only 5.5. Why is that? This is a flip-flop spot. This is one that I'm actually backing. Cheers to Jim Kristen, who took over one of the roughest jobs here, Canisius, in the country, and has won 2 of his last 4. He won at home Rider by 18 points. Now they're playing Sacred Heart, who stinks. This is nuts. I think this is a money line play also. This one should move up. I'm taking Canisius plus 5.5. Go back to the comments before we get into the top 10 here. How do you join Discord, Creekman? You go to ftnfantasy.com. You sign up for any one of the packages. You can do a monthly package. You can do an annual package. Make sure to use that promo code at the bottom of the screen there. Get you 15% off the annual packages. And then once you do that, you go top of the screen and you hit Discord. I did that at the beginning of the show. You may have missed that. Let's see. Maine jumped to 5.5. Maybe there's someone injured, Wags. We got to check that out. But I like Maine in that matchup. Let's see. God, I don't even know. Trevor, I have no idea. Miami is horrific. Miami's horrific. You're going with Lull. Okay, I get it. I like Maine. I think Maine is actually really good. Let's see. Okay, get into the top 10, and we will get out of here. I like the Mount here. Mount has done well for us against the spread. Mount St. Mary's 11-7. Now they've lost 2 in a row, so this is frisky, but they're going away to Siena, and I just don't trust Siena. I'm not fully on board with Siena. I do respect what Jerry McNamara is doing. I think they're playing well. They're not great on offense. They're good on rebounding. They're physical. Don't like this team. I don't like Siena being a massive favorite. I know it's tough to play there, but I think the Mount keeps us close and they steal it. I'll take Mount St. Mary's plus 4.5. Wrong team is favored here. Merrimack is really good. Merrimack lost to Quinnipiac. They have the bounce back now. They're on the road against St. Peter's. St. Peter's not great on offense, very physical on defense, but that's tough to do against the zone of Merrimack. So Merrimack, 6-1, still looking to battle atop the MAC. They're a half game back. They're tied with Marist. They don't get tripped up at St. Peter's. I don't see that here. Merrimack zone, very tough to prepare for, especially when you struggle on offense. Queens a little bit of a wagon? I think Queens is a little bit of a wagon. They've been pretty good, and no one talks about them in the A-Sun. At home, beat Stetson, hung 96. At home, beat Florida Coast, hung 92. And they are coming off 4 straight road games, Queens. Lipscomb away wins. Austin P away wins. Stetson away wins. Florida Gulf Coast, they just ran out of gas. But they are refreshed now against North Florida. You know North Florida's defense is horrific. They can't guard anyone. I look at the team total here also. North Florida, they make the threes. They're good. They made the threes against Bellarmine. They made the threes against Central Arkansas. And all of a sudden against North Alabama, those threes stopped going in, although they made a couple late. So Queens minus 3.5. And the last game here that I'm talking about, and everything else is going in Discord to the subs. You got to join us at FTN. Towson minus 12 against NC State. I like Towson. It's a lot of points. People get nervous because Pat Scary's team does not make free throws. It's the one thing. Pat Scary's team just doesn't make free throws, but they're really well coached. They have won 6 of their last 7 games. They are 5-1 here in the CAA. Charleston is 5-1. William & Mary, who's really good, is 5-1, and Towson is 5-1. I don't think they get tripped up here. They have Northeastern away. That's not a huge look-ahead spot. They took care of business against Stony Brook. I think they blow out North Carolina A&T, who has lost 6 straight games, North Carolina A&T, and they gave up 98 points at home to Delaware, 81 away to William & Mary, 72, 74. They just give up a ton of points, and they are terrible on the boards, and they don't force any turnovers, and they're terrible on offense. Those are the picks. Now, there are 6 picks remaining, plus some props that I like. Those are going in the ftnfantasy.com Discord, so you got to get over there to get that insight. The games that I'm looking at, we have Arkansas State, App State. We have Charleston, UNC Wilmington. We have South Dakota State, Missouri, Kansas City. We have Arkansas, Little Rock, Western Illinois, which is a huge one because Frank Brank and I aligned. And the last 2 times Frank Brank and I have aligned, we've done quite well. We aligned with Dayton over Duquesne, laid 3 on the road and won that. We aligned at Iowa State against Texas Tech. That one was frisky, but we aligned and got that. So when Frank's models and Frank's college basketball brain, which is one of the best, aligns with my picks, they're usually right on the money. And we are aligned here with Western Illinois, Arkansas, Little Rock game. You got to get to that one. It could be a total, could be a side. Illinois, Maryland is a pick, and then William and Mary Hampton. Those are my picks that are there. Let's get to the comments. I think that's it. Creekman, I appreciate it, brother. Getting that Discord too. Let's go, Mike and Chet. Appreciate it. Joe picked out. Yep, super fishy. Love it. Joe on the house. So fingers crossed. See if we get there. Yeah, it was one of my early ones only because they've struggled a little bit. I do think it's a look ahead spot for Middle Tennessee, but it is not one of my top plays, but it is up there for sure. They're going to battle. We appreciate it. Great stuff. You got to be on the lookout. Illinois in a route tonight. I think Sue, I can't comment. Did I just comment, Trevor? Maybe I did. I don't know. Great to see everybody. FTM Fantasy. We'll be back on Saturday. See if we can do a parlay giveaway also on Saturday. We'll be ready to go. Saturday, 10 o'clock as always. Join us there. You guys are the best. FTM Fantasy. We find you.
Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Everyone just loves New Mexico to upset number 6.
Have the potential to go at least one more round. Deron Holmes, Shahade Wells, and Enrique